Hi, everyone. My name is Rafał, and I have some kind of confession to make. As Gosia said, I'm a developer. Is there any other developer in the room right now? Oh, so I'm not the only one. So it's better than previous soap. Some of you may remember me from the previous soap because I had a lot of questions. Most because I'm a developer. So this is me right here when I'm actually asking about something. And I had a lot of questions. And I found how many when I came back home, and I found these. There was plenty of little soaps in my bag. So I think that I had a lot of questions because I really want to solve documentation problems that we have in our company. And I work for DreamLab. It's a software company which supports media industry for one of the biggest publishers in Europe. So at the end of the day, we've got a lot of content products, some platform solutions, and many internal tools that we are constantly developing. And when I say we, I think about over 300 developers, and which of them are pretty much different, as you know. They work differently, they have different clients, users. They also are making some different products. But they were all complaining about our docs. And this was the common thing. But don't worry, not every developer is like that. Some of us actually wants to do something about it. And I'm one of these guys. And this is why we start to read about the docs. We went to one of the meetups, as Gosia said, and we finally joined to the SOAP family. But all we had was a bunch of really busy developers who really don't have a time for documentation. And this is when creativity comes in, because we have to figure out how to write without writers. And I think that most of you are writers, right? So this could be not the safest place for me right now. But remember that I still love you. And please let me finish. And don't kill me before the Q&As, at least. First of all, we don't have any manager. We didn't have any manager, and we didn't have any team that can solve our problems. And our first job was to make our developers write anything. But the maybe most important part, even more important, was that we have a pretty good mess with our documentation, because more of the huge part of our developers were skeptics, as I said before, and even so, we've got plenty documentation that were really mixed up, and some kind of user stories and some kind of user documentations or manuals were stored together with low-level technical docs, and this was really horrible. But we, as I said before, want to do something about it, and this is why we arrange a smart doc. Some kind of, can you see the S for a smart doc? Yeah. Some kind of team that can help our people, just like Superman, but the only difference was that we were not wearing panties on our trousers. We thought it's pointless. So I don't really know why he did that. Our first job was to create the documentation standard, a bunch of rules that can be used for every product that we have, and that can be used by every one of us to, first of all, solve our problems, but also for cleaning our mess. the first issue was that we have, as I said, mixed up documentation, or pretty much mixed up. And we supposed to separate those. So we came up with an idea that we can use something that we already have. So we already have a list of our products in our software marketplace. And this is why we decided to use that list to determine how to split docs and how they should be connected to each other. We also proposed to use the same structures. A structure that will be easy to arrange, easy to maintain. So we thought that if every documentation will have the same structure, it will be really easy to find stuff that you are looking for. So this was the main. These were the main things that we have on that point of time. The main goal was to present those new way of managing documentation to our developers, and we did. So we teach them a lot. We even printed a little checklists just in case if they want to forget or something like that. And they really know what they should do next. So, what we have now. First of all, we cleaned out our mess. This was the most important part. Also, we teach our developers how to separate documentation and how to store it that it can be easy to maintain, for example. So, our next goal was to learn how to write, because even if we are developers, even if we are able to write plenty lines of code per minute, we did not know how to write for people, even if they were our teammates. So this was really hard. Many times we heard, I'm not a writer, I cannot write for human. I don't know what should be described. Of course, this was not true, they were just skeptics. And we decided to help them. We decided to notice the things that they didn't. We noticed that we are working with some little Scrum teams, and our work starts with a set of meetings when we actually talk about business requirements, talked about user expectations. We actually writing user stories before we even start coding. Of course, they didn't see it in that way. So, the real problem was that we have no guidelines, no style sheets. Every team write a little bit differently, and we have to do something about it. So we came up with some kind of training courses and so on. We teach them about styling, we teach them about formatting, about how to use language to communicate. And they really thought that still they don't have time for the documentation. And once again, creativity became something really helpful, because we thought that no matter if you're a man or a woman, no matter if you're black or white, we all have something in common. We all have a little breaks during the day, and we are all using the toilets. Someone wants to argue with that? So we came up with an idea, with a simple idea, I think, that we can make some toilet newsletter. Thank you. Yeah, it was quite fun, and probably I became some kind of famous guy in my company, because I was the only guy who went to the ladies' room. So, but don't worry, I can keep the secret. So they still don't know it, how it looks like. But our job was not done yet. We, of course, have some skeptics on our side back then, but still, to write some docs, we have to switch and became some kind of writer because we've got Confluence, so we have to stop coding and start writing, however it sounds. And our process that we had was actually pretty simple, because we already work in a process that is continuous, that can be used also for writing documentation. So we ask ourselves, what do we need? And we came up with three, I think, points, three things that we really need. And we want to have integrated process. So we won't need to switch the context and become some kind of writer. We want to have all in one place, and it also should be really easy, also to write and also to read for our developers. So our process that we have already in our company, and I'm talking about Scrum and continuous deployment, allows us to put documentation in this process. Before the change, the process looks something like that. When we first of all plan some work, we get information about tasks that we're supposed to do, and when we have all the information, we start coding. So develop some changes, some bug fixes or other features. And when our work is done, our code is automatically tested, and if everything is okay, automatically deployed to the production environment. You may ask, where are the docs? Yeah, and we were writing docs after all works were done. So this is why I said before that we have to switch and become a writer. And this was really hard, especially for developers. Some things may change. Some developers were not up to date. They actually may even start some new tasks. So we have to figure out how to change this process. And we came up with an idea that we can put docs somewhere in here, between planning and developing, the development phase. We thought that this is the right point of time because we are up to date. We are actually know what we are doing. So we are working with code, and because of that, we also proposed to write docs as a code. So in a simple plain text formats that can be stored next to the source code, and that can be processed together with the source code. So I really don't know which developer don't like simple plain text formats. I don't know. Maybe if you know some developers like that, get me know. And we got even simpler because we create a new tool. We call it DreamDoc, of course. We are from DreamLab and docs. So we call it DreamDoc. The DreamDoc is a bunch of build plans that are getting those simple text documentation and build it into a fancy HTML docs, static docs. DreamDoc also publish those docs into the right spot, into the right place, and we've got the one place. So we've got all in one place, as I said before, and as we wanted to have. DreamDoc is also an app. We've got an application that allows you to browse documentation of every product that we have. And it's kind of library. So skeptics, even skeptics, or our developers loved it. See, this is them. They all love it. So our journey And our story actually not ends here, but our journey leads us to a place when we've got a bunch of developers who are probably convinced that they are able to write some docs all by themselves. They know how to do it, and they have a simple tool for that. So, what have we learned? First of all, creativity is not only about creating something brand new. You can use creativity for change, for changing something, like we did. We used things that we already have. We used tools that our developers already knew. So it was easy for them. It was easy for us to make that kind of change. And because I'm a developer and I have a wife and a son, once again, I want to be clearly understood. I'm not trying to prove that we don't need technical writers. I'm only saying that thanks to creativity, thanks to simplicity, we found a way how to write our docs without them on board. And yeah, this is what I'm supposed to say right now. And we also learned that change should simplify something. And change should also be simple itself. Because if you are able to do that, even skeptics will follow your ideas. So thank you.
Thank you, Rafał. Thanks so much. Wow, guys, do you have questions? Yeah, I knew that. Okay.
Hi, I'm Martyna. I'm a technical writer. First of all, I want to tell you that it's not true that there are no technical writers at your company, but only devs. I mean, those people who write content are technical writers, so props. But I wanted to ask why it occurred so late that you have to do something with the documentation. I mean, isn't it a definition of done? Isn't it a feature of your product, actually?
Actually, we have documentation in our documentation of done, but still developers did not do anything about the docs. So I don't really know when we noticed that we have such a mess. But it was not so important for us. We want to change something. We want to have those documents and documentation for our products. So we just go there and do something, yeah, for each toilet, yeah. Many times. Yeah.
Hi, Rafał, I'm Marcelina. I wonder, have you managed to force each and every developer to write and have some of them simply reconverted into technical writers only?
No, we still have no technical writers, but I still love you. But some of the developers came to us, even we present those things, and ask about the docs. And this was the most important part, because they were interested about it, and they want to do something about it. They ask us how to write and so on, how to communicate, and they were curious. And this was the point that we were heading. So to answer your question, we did not change developer into technical writers.
Okay, we have a question here.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Alexandra. I'm a tech writer, and my question is, how much time do you spend on documentation, and how do you decide what to document?
Okay. Most of the time, product owners decided which products should have documentation. We are at the point when we want to go to the market with our products. So this is why we've got a specified list of products that should be the first one with documentation. And what about time? We are writing our docs when we are coding. So time it's not so time consuming than before. So we are writing during the development, if it's fine for you as an answer. How many time? I don't really know. I can't measure this.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we can afford one more question. Okay, two more, Ray and Tomek.
Hi, I'm Tom from Ixaris Malta. I wanted to ask you, why did you write a custom solution for the purpose of actually publishing docs into HTML? Didn't any ready-made solutions like are you using standard languages? Are you using MD or are you using RST to write those? And if you are, why didn't you use tools such as Sphinx? Why did you have to develop your own tools for such a purpose? Thanks.
It was probably some kind of promotion. I like doing some logos, so this is why we call it Smart Doc. But we are using Sphinx actually. So the main part of this project was to put all these parts together in processes that we already have. And this is what we call Smart Doc. Not the tool that are making or building some static documents, but the whole part of the process that we have. So we actually using Sphinx, and we based on restructured text format. So I think I answered. Get him a soap.
Hi. Hello. Yeah. Okay. I'm Ray, and I'm a consultant, which means I get to tell people what to do and run away. But I used to be a technical writer, and one of the things that I noticed in working with engineers to write technical documentation is that engineers tend to think functionally. Pretty much they have to. Whereas for technical communication, we need to think task-oriented. So I'm wondering if you had any kind of process to get your engineers to think in a task-oriented way, or if this was
I cannot show you anymore, but as you was able to see, we printed a little, probably many of posters when we show our people that their point of view is not the most important, and people usually don't understand them. So this is why they should write a little bit different. We also arranged some kind of workshops about how to write, and it was quite fun because we had gathered a lot of people. So it was a surprise for us, but it means that it worked. So. Our doc manager is sitting right over there, so you may ask him about more details. I'm only a developer, so.
Okay, Rafał, congratulations. I hope you still feel safe here.